Hi everyone, it's Jillian. Welcome to Lunchtime Beauty Break. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to be talking to you. Today we're going to talk about something very simple but really important and really actually a major part of your makeup routine that you may or may not be doing, and that is primers. So primer is really, to me, it's the lingerie for your face. That is the most important thing I can tell you. It's about, think of your best clothing, but it's what you put underneath it that makes it work, to keep it smooth, to make it look nice, or to keep your clothes in place so maybe you don't get makeup wedgies. That's what I like to call them, when your makeup kind of breaks apart and you get valleys and dips and things don't stay in place. So I want you to think as primer as lingerie for the face. I think a lot of people skip this step because they think that they don't need it, or you think, oh, I don't want another step in my beauty routine. But I promise you, as a makeup artist for a very long time and as a woman, it's absolutely worth the investment. And by the way, please send in your questions and comments. You know we love that. You might have your own tips and tricks or something you want to share with us. So send them on in. We're going to go fast and furious. So first of all, let's talk about why you need a primer. Here's the thing. Moisturizers, pardon me, and oils and serums are meant to sink into the first layers of your skin, right? They go into that those upper levels of skin. Then you put your foundation over it, and what happens is, as those serums and moisturizers and oils pull in, they pull that foundation with it. And that is why you need a primer, because your makeup will break apart through the course of the day. It just won't stay fresh. And it just looks like, you put your makeup on and you walk out the door and an hour later it looks broken apart. So primer will stop that from happening because it acts like a net. So I'm going to be talking about Laura Geller Spackles today. She has so many of them. You can associate it with whatever you have at home, or maybe you'll hear something you like, because what I'm also going to do is give you tips and tricks on the various ways and forms that it comes. So, because it acts like a net, what primer is going to do is, well, really what Spackle does, it's so amazing, is you put on your serums and moisturizers, right? Then you put on a little bit of Spackle, like that much. And this is regular original Spackle. By the way, this Spackle is really lightweight. It's super, super clean, so everybody almost thinks it's not working. But if you get a really heavy, heavy primer, sometimes that actually slides things off the face. So when Spackle goes on, now we're locking in those serums and moisturizers, and then whatever you put on top of it, it's like double-sided tape. Now you've got a layer that's going to hold that foundation or powder or whatever you use in place all day. So it's also a great way to work with the fluctuations in your skin, because let's face it, sometimes your skin might be more oily or it might be more dry. So let me get going. Let me walk through this. And we're going to start with, I'm going to save my two favorites for the end, my personal favorites. I love them all, but I have to give you my personal favorites at the end and why. So what I want to do is I want to start off with Spackle Champagne. This is one of our most popular primers. It has a really subtle back glow to it. I'm going to show you. So take a look at this. So if you're someone, so now we have the factor that it's going to smooth everything out, it's going to lock your serums and moisturizers into place, but this one is an extreme multitasker. So what it's going to do is it's going to give your skin just that tiny little bit of luminosity that you can wear underneath your makeup, or you can just wear it alone to create a really beautiful kind of candlelit glow. So the benefits of Champagne Spackle, if you've seen this one before, or having that little bit of gold in it, is number one, it's great if your skin is dull and you want to bring life to it, or if your skin has some red in it, it will take that down. Or if you want to step your toe into the field of luminosity without getting too crazy, this is a great way to do it. So one of the, I just squeezed it, sorry. Okay. So one of the tips to using this is, I like to use it to create a really soft, pretty look on my shoulders, because what happens is it sticks and then it dries, and then if you want to put something a little bit, maybe a little shimmer over that, it'll stick into place. Or like I work a lot on TV for Laura, you can just that'll make everything look a little bit softer, and then it dries down. The other thing I like to do with this is I like to create on my days off a nude warm look. So I just take a little bit of this, I use it all over the face, like maybe just a dollop, like half a dime size. You let it dry. Then you take the lightest powder you can find, the lightest powder you can find. Dust it on, let it set, don't use a foundation, and then I usually follow up with a matte bronzer to sculpt the face. So what you get is this, as we're moving into spring, we're going to see a lot of minimalism happening. So this will give you a minimalist look that really just leaves your skin really, really pretty and really glowy, but you're using more matte things over it to kind of tone it down at the same level. So champagne is great, gives you the benefits of that glow, takes down the red, and you can really play with it to get a nude look. And you can see how it dried on my hand. You see that kind of little bit of a glow it gives? Okay. Then we have what we call our ethereal spackle. Ethereal spackle is great because it has a lot of, it's got crushed pearl in it. So really it has this beautiful pink and actually a little bit of blue and a little bit of yellow. It's very rainbow-like. So I want to tell you, this one, it's not the one that I use every day for real life, but it's very near and dear to my heart, and I'll tell you why. This one, take a look at that. Somebody described it on the reviews as it had a kind of, can you see it here? Had kind of a polychromatic finish. So thank you who reviewed this on laurageller.com. I think that's a brilliant way you described it. It gives your skin just that beautiful pop of lift and light. If your skin tends to be really dull, if you're not feeling well, if your skin is looking gray for whatever reason, it is just one of those things that's so fantastic to have in your beauty cabinet when your skin needs that boost. For instance, I have I've heard me talk about it before.
We can see the color of
Oh, sorry guys. Sorry. I'm getting direction behind you. That's why you see me moving around. I'm trying to figure out where to move. So I have, you've heard me talk about this before. To it, this is the only thing I use when I work on those photo shoots or I'm dealing with someone in real life who has these kind of issues of adversity on the skin, because it gives it that angel glow, and it's got aloe vera in it, so it's very soothing to the skin, and that crushed pearl really gives the lift. So if your skin is going through adversity, you're feeling gray or green, this is a great one to use. The other thing I do too is I like to take this one, because see how that dried? You see that gold and that pearl, how pretty that is? So you put it on, you put your foundation over it, you lock it into place, and instead of using a blush, if I just want to get, again, that minimal look that's coming down the pike, I take a little of this, a little bit on a brush, and I brush it over my cheeks, and that's how I get that glow on the skin without wearing blush or even doing a powder illuminator. So that's a good one for doing that. Then we have, so Spackle treatment. This is great because this one is amazing for people with sensitive skin. So if your skin gets really red, if you have rosacea or eczema or you have some issues with the skin, or blemishes, this one is amazing because of two reasons. Number one, it's loaded with botanicals. So I really want you to be able to see this. This one's green, check it out. Okay, so it's loaded with botanicals. It has argan oil, it has witch hazel in it, it's an astringent that's really good for the skin. It has jojoba, avocado to soften the skin, calendula flower to promote the healing of the skin. But what's great about it is this green, as you know, a lot of you may know this, the green counteracts red. So when you put this on the skin, now I don't have red skin, so what you're seeing is a little bit of that green, but if you have red skin, it's going to knock that out. So not only am I holding the makeup in place, but the green is going to obliterate any redness that you get. So if you have any skin issues, this is great for that. Now here's a great tip for this. If you get, say your skin isn't really red, but maybe you just get a blemish here and there, and you want to knock that red out, what I do is I take a little bit of this, I put it right directly on the blemish, I pat it out, and I let it dry. So you want to just give it a minute to dry. Then I take an eyeshadow brush and I dust a little bit of powder over it, okay, so it's going to seal it in. Then I spackle a little bit, I dabble a little bit of foundation over it and re-powder it down. You can't see a blemish after you do that. So you put this on first, you let it dry, that's important. A little bit of dusting of a powder, foundation, more powder over it, flawless, bam, red's gone, it knocks out everything. But what I like about this too is a lot of time when you have a lot of more blemish issues on the skin, they make things that are just for absorbing oil, but this one is really good for hydrating the skin in a non-oily way and soothing and conditioning. Again, so if you have rosacea, eczema, sensitive skin, or you get red really easy, this is a great one to add into your wardrobe. So what I love about the idea of primer is that they're all add-ins to your wardrobe. You're going to find the ones you use every day like I do, but then you can add them in as you need them. So then we have Spackle Hydrating. So Spackle Hydrating is really amazing if you suffer from really dry skin, okay? So it could be the change in the weather, it could be hormonal, it could be anything, and all of a sudden your skin is acting more dry. So what this one has in it, it is very, very hydrating, and it works really hard not only to lock in what you're using, but it also hydrates from that middle level. This is just really clear. See, there's nothing to this one. It's totally clear. It's going to come out just like a moisturizer, right? So this one has cupuaçu seed butter in it, which is tough to say, but it is a moisturizing superstar that comes from a tree in the Amazonian. It's very emollient, it's very nourishing. It's got green algae, so you get the long-lasting moisturization on it. It's got aloe vera, glycerin, vitamin C, vitamin E. So if you're someone who is maybe just having, some days you're really dry and you don't need it every day, this is a good slide in. But if you're dry all the time, this is a really good one to go to. Now, here's what you can do if you're really dry and you don't want to have that made up look. Yes, it's a primer, and yes, you should use it over your skincare and under your makeup. But what you can do is put it on. See how it dries with a satin finish? There's no glow on that. It's just a beautiful, nourished satin finish. So what you want to do is you put it on, but then I take just a little bit, and then I also take a little bit of a tinted moisturizer, and I mix them together, and then I put them on the skin, and then I just use a beauty blender, and that is an amazing way to get a super hydrated look that stays, that's really, really clean and really, really minimal, but it's going to give you a certain amount of coverage, because all of them make your skin definitely look better. Take a look at that, just from the vein even perspective and the softness. But if you add tint to it, it's great. Now here's another one with this one. I want to give you another trick. If you're using a really hydrating spackle, I know what happens is sometimes you're just like, oh, I'm in a hurry, I want it to dry, you're not drying fast enough. What I like to do, and I actually read this tip, and I was like, is that going to work? Because there's so many beauty hacks out there, and I've been around a really long time, and I thought, I want to learn something, I want to try, and it really worked. Is you put on your moisturizing spackle or primer, and then you take a very light, fluffy brush, and you use a light dusting powder, and you just lightly go over it. And what that does is it actually sets it, and then you can put your foundation over that. So you're still holding your foundation, but it's helping it dry quicker. So if you need to get out the door fast, don't be afraid to dust that over and then put your foundation over that one. Then we have, and we're counting down to my favorite two, then we have the oil control. Okay, this one is amazing. This is perfect if you have really oily skin. So what this one does, it's going to do two things. I'm going to give you a few tips on this. It has a little bit of a fleshy tone to it, but don't worry, that kind of flesh tone really dissipates out, so you don't have to worry about it. So if you have really oily skin, this is perfect for you. What it's going to do is it minimizes the look of your pores. It dries down matte. It evens out the skin so you get shine-free, even, flawless coverage. Even if you have a combination skin, this one is really, really great for down the center. And oily skin needs this help because oily skin especially breaks your makeup up. So I know like you put it on during the day, even if you use a primer, you're probably shifting your makeup when you get to that degree of oil. But what I love about this is that it's meant for that really oily skin, but it mattifies. Some of them stop the oil, but they don't mattify. This literally mattifies it. So if you struggle with oily skin, this is great. Now here's two ways I like to use this. So right now, we talked about this in our last show, we're seeing a lot of more of a modern matte finish starting to kind of creep in down the pike. I bet you with the Academy Awards, you're going to start to see a little more matte skin like we did at the Golden Globes. And we are right now of the moment is still a dewy, fresh kind of radiant skin. But when we start to see more matte coming in, you don't want to go out and buy all new makeup. You don't have to change everything over. So what you can do is take a mattifying primer and put it under any of your existing foundations, and it'll make it more matte and lock it into place. The other thing you can do if you want to create a matte look at home, and you don't even want to use foundation, is use this. And again, just take something very light, like a dusting powder. I'm using Balance and Brighten right now, just because I have it on the side here, which is our foundation. But look at this. Look at how matte that is in comparison to this hand. So that is a great trick to add in at home. Number one, if you want to try matte. Number two, if you're excessively oily. And I'll tell you what, because I really like a good glow, but I don't like to look really oily or sweaty. If you're somebody that goes to the gym and really likes to work out, this is great to put on in the morning. This is fabulous because it kind of helps your skin look even as it starts to get more oily. Or if you're going to a hot and humid climate, this is a really good one to slide into your routine because it'll absorb that oil when you need it. Then we have, oh, you know what I forgot to mention? Forgive me, the Hydrating Spackle is brand new. It's so popular for us. It comes in a giant super size. I think you get almost double the amount of the original. This one is 2 ounce. This one is 3.2. So 3/4 more of the amount, and I think it's almost the same price. So if you liked what I said about the Spackle Hydrating, or your skin is really dry, you might want to check out the big boy up there. I like when we supersize things. Okay, now we're going to get to my two favorites. Not that I do, oh, wow, sorry. Look at that matte one. Did you see that dry? That's crazy. That's really good. So use that if you want to matte anything at home. Now, my two favorites, here we go. I love them all, but obviously as a girl, there's ones I go to all the time. So, the first one that I go to all the time, so I'm going to call my first runner-up, if anybody watched Miss Universe. I love pageantry. Such a good show, wasn't it? Okay, is we are going to use, my first runner-up is the Spackle Treatment Even Tone Primer. So this is really for any skin type. It's perfect for the no makeup look. Now, it was created if you have really intended for, if you're someone who has more dark spots on their skin, which I do, I have little areas. It's got vitamin C, it has plankton, which is great against environmental pollution, it has jojoba oil, it has Kayoma olive, which helps to lighten the brown spots. I just wanted to show you the color. But what I love about it is that when you put it on, it evens out your skin. I'm going to say you can use this all the way up to a tan skin. I would not take this on a really deep skin. Any of the others you can, but I think this one might turn a little bit ashy on you, so let's say up to a tan skin for this one. Look at this. It's almost like a tinted moisturizer. So now, not only am I evening everything out, not only am I making everything look softer, it's creating this beautiful minimalistic approach to my skin, but I'm still locking in my skincare and serums, and I can still put foundation if I want over that. Half the time, like I wear this one every day. So right now I do have a little foundation on for the cameras, but usually when I go out, I just put this one on. It is so smooth, it is so clean, I love the even tone. So what you can do at home, this is a very seasonless one, like you could wear this all year round. What you can do at home is if you, it has a little glow, it doesn't have shine, it has a little bit of glow in it too, which I love, 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 love. Hopefully you can see that. What I do at home with this, what you can do if you want, is put a dot of this and a dot of your foundation, and you can blend them together. Now, you should put it on first as your primer, but I'm talking about to get just a little more coverage that's still really, really clean, then go over it and dust it very lightly with powder. Now, you're still going to get the glow, because really that glow is coming off the primer. Just like on the other one when it was matte, the matte is what is, the mattifier was making it matte. This glow is what's allowing it to stay glow. That is primer and Balance and Brighten foundation, and it's just so beautiful. I'm wearing today the Even Tone with Balance and Glow foundation. But if you are a minimalist, if you have dark spots, like I don't have it, a lot of times I have those dark spots here, freckles, but really they're age spots. So I cover them up here, and then I put foundation. I don't have it on today because of the white shirt, but I do that a lot if I'm wearing something with a V, so that is a great one too. My shoulders are still holding that spackle, aren't they? gives it that glow. I love that. Love it. That's the champagne on my shoulders. Okay, so even tone, if you want a minimalist approach, if you want, the champagne was on my shoulders. I love champagne for the body. Sometimes I even put it on my legs. I can't help it. I love it. If you want a minimalist approach to even out your skin tone, if you suffer with skin that gets a little bit more dark spots in it, this, I swear to God, it's like Spanx. It just pulls that all in, so everything is really, really nice and smooth. So we love that. That's this one, even tone. And remember, take it up to a tan skin. I wouldn't go darker than a tan skin. The other ones you can, though. Now we're going to do drum roll. Drum roll for me is, I can't live without this one. There's just two, like I said, I love it so much. And that is the Spackle Mist. Spackle Mist is amazing. This is the Lazy Girls primer, and I am all about being a lazy girl. Okay, it's a makeup artist must. You will love it. It's a 3-level primer. So number 1, you put on your serums and moisturizers.
Alan is watching you.
Hi, baby. How are you, Alan? I'm so glad you're here. Always nice to see you. I hope I get to see you soon. So see how I sprayed that on? So easy, so clean. Then you put your foundation on over it, nice and smooth. You let it dry. So easy. Now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put this over. So we sprayed it, you put your foundation on, and then we use it as a step to seal it in. It's a 3-step primer, which is amazing. So you use it before, you put on your foundation, and then you use it to set. You don't have to use it that way, but you can. The 3rd step to it is to use it during the course of the day to refresh. So you can keep it in your handbag, you can keep it in your desk, you keep it wherever you need it, wherever, if your skin starts to look dull, or you just start to feel like, maybe you're just having like a little bit of a hot thing going on. I love to use this. It just immediately cools me down. I'm telling you, Lazy Girl Primer, it is amazing. It sets everything. It also, by the way, has cucumber extract in it and vitamin B5. It has magnesium and zinc. So what I find with it, I'm not making a claim, but what it does do is it does reduce a little of the puffiness in your skin. Like when I use it in the morning, I find everything gets a little bit less puffy. I also like to keep mine in the fridge. That is such an old school trick, but it feels so good. So, one of my favorites, absolutely, truly locks everything into place. So easy to use, not even your fingertips. Like you just spray it on and call it a day. Use it under, use it over, use it to touch up. You can even use it with absolutely no makeup just to make your skin look nice and clean and smooth. One of the things I like to do with this one is after a really long day, have you ever gone home and you maybe have something to do, somewhere to go, and you're like, my makeup looks a little busted, but you don't want to take off the whole thing and start fresh? Get yourself a big old brush and buff it down. Just don't take it off. Don't go for the wipes. Just buff it down. Respray with this. Notice I keep spraying this because I can't get enough of it. You respray it, right? And then you just touch up with a little powder and voila, everything goes right back into place. So it truly is, to me, like the magic mist. It has on our website, if you look, it's all 5-star review. Everybody loves this one. And again, the ingredients are incredible. It's silicone-free, oil-free, paraben-free, and it just is such a fun thing to have that really, really, really works. So this one and Even Tone are definitely my 2 favorites, but the other ones are great too. It's just those work for my skin. And remember, like I said, slide it in. Maybe you just need something because you're feeling dull, or you're going through some adversity, and you need a little ethereal, which has got the crushed pearls to lift your skin. Maybe you're going through something where your skin's more oily, so you just need the mattifier. Really, you don't have to use the same one every day. You can mix and match them. And then, of course, there is my other favorite spackle, and that is Lip Spackle. Now, I know we put this in shows before. I love Lip Spackle so much. Alan, if you're still there, I don't know if we said you Lip Spackle, but this is amazing. So, Lip Spackle is underwear for your lips, but it's underwear with a pad in it. So what it does is, first of all, it acts like a fence. So when you put it on all over your mouth. And then you put your lips on. Well, it has a cushiony base to it. So I laugh because a lot of people will ask me, what lip color I'm wearing. But I think a lot of it has to do with the spackle that I put underneath it, because it creates like a little bit of a pad or a little bit of a cushion. And it stops everything from fading. And I mean, come on, you see how glossy I make my lips. It stops it from feathering. It stops it from moving. It has rose hip oil, so it really protects the lip. And then when you're done putting your lip on with this spackle, you can go over, okay, and even double up and get a smoother look around the lips. So this is another one like the spray where you can put on before and put on after. So if you haven't been using primer, I hope that helps. The whole thing with primer definitely is that I really want you to think of it. It's like sexy lingerie for your face because it makes everything look so much better, so much smoother, and there's many, many, many ways of playing with it and working with it, but it makes everything work harder. You'll spend less money on your makeup because you're going to use less makeup than you were using, because I think sometimes we just keep adding on because it might sink in or move. The job of a primer is to make everything look smooth and beautiful and lock it into place. So I hope that helps. Your question?
Two questions. One, they feel a few people are saying that it makes their face feel wet when they're using the mist one. Okay. So any tip for that?
It doesn't make, like right now, it feels very dry to me. But what you could do, if you really like it and you want to stick with it, it's just maybe that feeling is bothering you. I would do the trick that I do for the moisturizing spackle, where you just lightly put a little dusting powder over it, just lightly, then put your foundation on and see if that adjusts it. I mean, I think you have to give it time to dry. Like right now it is drying, it dried on my skin. It could just be the nature of the fact, the way it's liquidy and we're used to creams. So if the powder trick doesn't work for you, and you're feeling you're giving it enough time to dry and you just don't like the feeling of it, that's okay because we're all different. I would move over probably to then our original spackle.
And the second question is, a person with a dry skin, they're using a few of the spackles, but they still feel that the makeup slides off towards a few hours of usage. So any tips for even locking further in?
So if you're really dry, one of the things that you might be doing is you're working really hard to hydrate that skin and hydrate that skin. When you put your moisturizer on, do me a favor, and you could be doing this, I'm just going to throw a whole bunch of different tips out there. See if you can give your moisturizer like a good minute to dry. Like don't just put it on, but literally like massage it into the skin, because what's happening is there's any oil left on the surface, it could be mixing with the spackle and you're getting a slide off. Also, if you're using hydrating spackle with that, try just using less and using like a little tissue, not to blot it off, but to gently blot it in, very, very lightly to blot it in, and then put your makeup over it. Or if it's just too much for you and it's still, you feel like it's sliding off, switch to original spackle, not necessarily the hydrating one, if you're finding that, because it's all very personalized. I mean, hydrating spackle does not slip things off of my skin, but if it's slipping it off for you, you might need to just play around a little bit with it. So make sure you're not you have to make sure that moisturizer in your skin is really deep into your skin, and then try like really patting the spackle into your skin so it's more set. If it's still slipping, try the powder trick, if that helps. I hope that helps.
And then what's the best one for luminosity, like the ultimate luminosity?
If you want like crazy luminosity, you gotta do ethereal, because ethereal has crushed pearl in it. So this is the one I use like sometimes for a natural blush. I'm not even gonna blend it in this much. This one gives this is why I use this a lot of times for women who have gone through adversity, because their skin, it gets very dull. So this has a lot of pink and blue and all different colors in it, so it really, really brightens the skin. Okay. But it definitely works. Primer, absolutely, without a doubt, makes everything look better. But do get a little bit of a very light dusting powder.
Alan has a question.
Uh-oh.
So
okay.
he wants to know the spackle for your lips. Is that like a lip primer, and does it help with drier lips?
Yes, it is a lip primer, Alan. So you can put it on, it's a perfect canvas product. So you just put it on everywhere, all over the lips, around, like it's messy, like you do just messy clown, and you put it on all over. I give it a second to dry, and then I put my lipstick on, and then you can go back around it again. So it does have rosehip oil in it. It leaves the lips very soft and smooth. So it's a hydrator and a conditioner, but it is a little stiff because by nature, you want everything to cling to it. But it's definitely a canvas for the mouth, the whole mouth. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so I hope that helps, and I want to thank everybody for stopping by. It's so great to see you. We will be back next week. I'm coming up with a quiz for you for next week. How to find your exact 3 beauty products for you. Not that I'm telling you to have, but for you. So come back next week. We'll have a lot of fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. Always good to see you, and have an amazing day.